Wade Wilson, Deadpool, and a now wealthy blind owl are staying at a high-end skyscraper hotel, the Crown Jewel in New York City. Blind Al is relaxing in a bubble bath while enjoying the luxurious surroundings, contrasting it with Wade's usual low-rent living conditions. Wade acts as her concierge/room service provider, pouring champagne, bubbly in the bubbly, for her and serving room service. Blind Al asks Wade to explain his current predicament involving the Badpools, grotesque mutated clones/versions of Deadpool. Wade deflects slightly while catering to her, setting up the explanation of his ongoing fight against these monstrous duplicates. As Wade lifts the silver serving dome off the room service tray, a small, feral, spider-like Badpool creature leaps out, hissing violently with a knife in hand. Demanding blood, the creature lunges directly at Wade from the tray. The miniature monster slashes Wade across the cheek, catching him off guard in the middle of serving room service. The small creature latches onto Wade's face, licking his blood while praising how good and life-giving it tastes. Wade swiftly stabs the creature through the body and body slams it onto the floor, splattering blood across the room. Wade finishes the pest off by kicking its mangled body across the bathroom. Blind Al, still sitting in the bathtub, hears the bloody chaos and demands to know what the hell is going on. The kicked creature lands directly into Blind Al's bathtub with a heavy splash. The creature immediately melts away in the soapy bathwater, releasing toxic green fumes, floating eyeballs, and bones. Disturbed by the disgusting residue coating her water, Blind Al remarks that while she isn't sure what just happened, it is the first time she has needed a shower right after taking a bath. Having lost his jaw and voice in the scuffle, Wade relies on internal narration to explain the situation to the reader. Wade reveals that whenever he suffers severe injuries, his healing factor kicks into overdrive and spawns these miniature living scab creatures. Fortunately, they lack staying power and cannot regenerate further. Wade spots a tiny Badpool attempting to drag itself across the floor and aims a gun at it. Before Wade can pull the trigger, Blind Al stops him, suggesting that whatever he is about to kill might actually prove useful to them. Blind Al advises Wade to track down every location where he was recently injured, which Wade finds nearly impossible since he gets hurt constantly. Wade heads out into the bustling city streets to investigate all the spots where he might have left behind blood, flesh, or severed tissue. As he walks through New York City, he realizes just how easily someone can shed blood on a single block. From simple accidents like bumping into delivery cyclists to getting into street scuffles. Wade worries that every stray splatter or splinter of his body scattered across the city could potentially grow into a new Badpool. He arrives in a neighborhood where he recalls falling 20 stories after a rooftop fight with the Vulture, knowing it will be a tough investigation starting point. Deadpool stops outside the village diner and gazes through the glass window, spotting a twisted reflection of himself grinning back. He realizes it isn't a reflection at all, but another Badpool standing inside the restaurant, mimicking his posture. Looking past the window, Deadpool sees a gruesome scene. The entire diner is filled with slaughtered patrons lying in pools of blood. Before Deadpool can react, the Badpool smashes its gloved hand straight through the diner window to grab him. The Badpool tackles Deadpool onto the sidewalk, through the shattered glass, pinning him down and stabbing him repeatedly with a jagged shard. Deadpool reflects that these clones exist in constant, unbearable agony because they are born from his trauma. Drinking his healing factor-laced blood is the only thing that temporarily numbs their pain. Pushing back, Deadpool kicks the clone off and confronts it directly. Deadpool uses an acid-like chemical spray straight into the clone's face, reducing its head down to a bare skull as it rapidly disintegrates. After dissolving the clone, Deadpool tries to wave off a gathering crowd of shocked onlookers, casually rationalizing destroying his own living scabs. The angry neighborhood residents confront him, blaming Deadpool for terrible crimes actually committed by the rogue Badpools, including eating a cat, robbing an apartment, and defecating on a playground slide. Deadpool tries to explain that it was and wasn't technically him, admitting that the slide incident was inexcusable. Unimpressed, the mob threatens to call the police and physically attack him with a cane as the situation quickly deteriorates. Deadpool jumps into the backseat of a taxi cab to escape the angry crowd, only to realize the driver is yet another mutated Badpool. Declarative of their shared identity, the grotesque driver slams on the gas pedal, speeding off while promising to take Deadpool somewhere to consume good blood. Unwilling to be taken hostage, Deadpool draws his pistol from the back seat, shoots the driver through the windshield, and demands to be dropped off right there. The taxi plows straight into trash cans and a wall after Deadpool shoots the Badpool driver. Deadpool reflects solemnly on how he has always known he does more harm than good in the world. Standing in the middle of the street, Deadpool realizes the full extent of the nightmare. Dozens of vicious, deformed Badpools, ranging from tiny spider-like creatures to full-size mutants, are crawling, swinging, and tearing through the entire city block. Realizing the Badpools are driven by their desire for him and his blood, Deadpool follows Blind Al's advice to give them exactly what they want. Under the cover of night, Deadpool sets up on a rooftop with a massive Deadpool-themed hot air balloon tied above the building. Standing atop the building, Deadpool shouts into a megaphone, calling out to the swarm of clones. "You want a piece? Come and get it!" Deadpool taunts the horde, advertising an all-you-can-eat Deadpool buffet, with descriptions of delicious Deadpool protein shakes, pancakes, and charcuterie to draw them in. After hours of waiting, an enormous horde of mutated Badpools converges on his location, riding school buses, police cars, pink scooters, and bicycles, or crawling out of manholes. Deadpool notes that he chose this specific raised, abandoned area so he can fight and spill blood without risking any innocent collateral damage. As the massive swarm of Badpool clones floods the building, Deadpool cuts the tether ropes holding his hot air balloon, preparing to ascend into the air above them. Deadpool reflects on his immortality, musing that his inability to die, no matter how much he feels he deserves to, is far more of a curse than a superpower. Standing on the edge of the balloon basket with his sword drawn, he realizes that all the blood he has spilled throughout his life is now physically coming back to haunt him in the form of this relentless army of clones. As Deadpool floats safely above the rooftop in his hot air balloon, the horde of Badpools gathers on the roof, waving weapons and screaming up at him. Deadpool admits via internal narration that taking out these clones gives him a satisfied thrill, concluding that the less weighed, the more better. Desperate to get to him, the small Badpool creatures begin leaping off the roof through the air toward his balloon, with Deadpool slashing at them mid-air using his katana. Watching the army of his own scabs clutter the skyline and throw themselves into the abyss, Deadpool acknowledges how much this monstrous army of his own creation is dirtying up the world. The Badpool clones stack on top of each other, building a living tower from the rooftop to reach Deadpool's rising hot air balloon. A creature manages to climb up the rigging and grab onto the basket. That good blood is my blood. Casual as ever, Deadpool points a rifle at the intruder and shoots it point blank to shed some extra weight and gain altitude over the growing swarm below. The living tower of Badpools buckles under its own weight and crashes down as Deadpool's hot air balloon floats safely out of range. Safely airborne, Deadpool whips out a detonator and flips open the switch cover with a lighter. Deadpool presses the button, triggering a massive explosion that completely demolishes the building below and wipes out the entire swarm of Badpools trapped at the site. Looking down from his hot air balloon at the fiery wreckage, Deadpool acknowledges that while he wiped out the local swarm, the overall Badpool threat is far from over. He realizes he must find out why his healing factor has spun out of control and stop it at the source, knowing that every future injury he takes will only create more monsters. Floating high above the night skyline of New York City, Deadpool takes a rare, quiet moment to enjoy the perspective, finding solace in being isolated where he cannot hurt anyone else.